It has been just over a week since the approval of the spot Ethereum ETF, and we're going to jump in today to discuss everything to do with its approval and what it means for the crypto space in general. Before we jump into the content though, please make sure to grab your free copy of my book, The Rise of Bitcoin, in the description below. It's going to be the first link in the description. Make sure you grab it while it's free. It is my gift to you, and I hope you enjoy it. So, jumping into the spot Ethereum ETF approval, my apologies, we've already seen the success of the spot Bitcoin ETF over the past number of months, a huge amount of capital flowing into the spot Bitcoin ETF. I think the approval of the Ethereum spot ETF here on May 24th, just last week, is overall an extremely bullish sentiment for the market. It kind of opens up the floodgates because we've seen a lot of pushback from the SEC with regards to Ethereum and other cryptocurrency assets over the past number of years. And with the approval of Ethereum and it now getting the green light for a spot ETF, it really does open up the floodgates. And now people are beginning to talk about the potential for a Solana ETF, a Ripple ETF, a Cardano ETF, etc., etc. And, while they may or may not come in the near future, opening up the floodgates with the approval of a spot Ethereum ETF is definitely a bit of a pivot from what the SEC has been communicating over the past couple of years. So in general, yes, absolutely, this is very bullish sentiment for the market as a whole, and it is a very good indicator for more capital and more liquidity to flow into the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space as a whole. We're also seeing in the past couple of weeks presidential candidates from both parties on the Republican and Democrat sides in the US strongly taking a stance on Bitcoin and crypto in general as well. So we're seeing more positive sentiment being thrown towards Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto in general with all of the politics going on in this election year as well. And I think it's worth just zooming out a little bit and thinking about the Ethereum landscape and what this really means for moving forward, because the Bitcoin spot ETF was approved in January of this year, and we know that Bitcoin has been being pushed by the 9 new spot Bitcoin ETF issuers as, this kind of form of digital gold, and asset managers have begun allocating capital to Bitcoin via the ETFs, and we've done plenty of ETF videos on the channel. You can check them out, but basically, we've seen it become a record-breaking ETF. We have seen billions and tens of billions of capital inflow already over the first 95 trading days of the spot Bitcoin ETF. And the branding around the Bitcoin ETF has been a pretty solid sell for the ETF issuers to get institutional investors on board. And I think Bitcoin being digital money, being this alternative digital gold, has been the real selling point for that. So it'll be very interesting to see where the sales pitch comes from for Ethereum, or what kind of angle we're going to see the ETF issuers pushing with an Ethereum ETF. And obviously we've heard about Larry Fink and the capital that they are deploying on Ethereum for a tokenized fund. And we saw headlines about this in the past few months. And Blackrock's tokenized fund has already drawn in over 240 million since debuting on the Ethereum blockchain. And this news broke a couple of months ago. And obviously, with everything going on in the background, one would wonder if Larry Fink indeed did have that inside knowledge that the ETF for Ethereum was certainly going to be approved. And it kind of opens up this angle that I think we will see with the Ethereum ETF being pushed for this kind of whole world of tokenization and moving real world assets on to the blockchain. Because again, Bitcoin is being branded more like this digital gold, this online form of currency, whereas if they try to brand Ethereum as the same thing, we're not going to get the same type of buy-in potentially from investors. So I think we're going to be seeing Ethereum being pushed as the tokenization layer for real world assets in a very big way. And BlackRock are already putting their money where their mouth is by creating this tokenized fund on the Ethereum blockchain. And again, jumping back to this whole real world assets market, again, we've done other videos on the channel that you can check out about this, but basically a breakdown here from Roland Berger consulting firm positioning the entire real world asset market to reach about a valuation of 11 trillion here by the year 2030, with real estate, debt, and investment funds being the top 3 tokenized assets. And again, if we try to read between the lines here, Larry Fink, again, is on the record stating that he believes the spot Bitcoin ETF is somewhat of a stepping stone towards this world where we begin to see the tokenization of absolutely everything on chain. And we've seen a very big pivot in the past 12 to 24 months with asset managers and banks now embracing blockchain technology more than ever because of the fact that, you know, they're realizing the power of the technology, but also realizing that they can make heaps of money off of these type of instruments. And again, banks, institutional investors, and asset managers are in the business of making money, and this technology opens up the door for them to do that. So we're going to be seeing the tokenization of absolutely everything. Larry Fink is on the record stating that he believes we're moving towards this world where we're going to see the tokenization of real world assets. And if you're new to this channel, if you're new to blockchain, if you're new to asset tokenization, what we're talking about here is basically having the representation of real world assets on the blockchain, a public ledger that is indisputable, and denoting ownership for real world assets on blockchains like Ethereum. And I think this will be the biggest push for institutional investors and the biggest narrative we're going to see being pushed by the institutions and the asset managers and the new Ethereum ETF issuers, is that Ethereum is going to be the layer where we can build and we can create and tokenize assets on chain. And it's already got the network effect in place. It's already an extremely well established blockchain. It's got smart contract programmability. It's got a whole bunch of layer 2s built out on top of it. I don't even think the institutions would be too concerned about the time to finality and the block processing times for Ethereum when they're coming from a legacy system where the time to finality or the transaction speeds that they're waiting for typically take multiple business days in the traditional finance sector. So moving to Ethereum, which might have 10 or 15 minutes for time to finality of transactions, is not a big deal. Obviously, we know that layer 2 scaling solutions like Base, Base, Matic, AVAX, Arbitrum, and many other layer 2s are already solving those problems with the settlement times for Ethereum as layer 2 scaling solutions. But the tokenization of all of these assets is made possible through blockchain technology. If you're not familiar with asset tokenization, you can check out some other videos on the channel as well. But being able to tokenize these types of assets from the real world on chain gives us much better cost efficiencies when it comes to dealing with these assets in terms of selling, sharing, trading, and in terms of increased efficiencies when it comes to actually being able to get money in and out of these assets in a very fluid way. So you could check out other videos on asset tokenization, but I just wanted to raise that point because we're seeing BlackRock already making moves on Ethereum prior to the approval of the Ethereum ETF, and we're going to be seeing a lot more asset tokenization over the coming years. Again, if we jump over to this website, RWA realworldasset.xyz, we're already seeing a breakdown here and some trackers of what's actually happening when it comes to asset tokenization on the blockchain. And again, you can see some of the numbers here. If we go to US Treasuries, for example, this is another metric that we track in our weekly crypto market reports, but you can see here that we've got 1.4 billion worth of US tokenized treasuries here denoted on chain already, and Ethereum is making up the vast majority of where those assets are tokenized. We can see XLM Stellar, we can also see Solana and XTC making up some smaller percentages, but Ethereum making up the vast majority of US treasuries tokenized on chain at the moment. Stable coins as well, looking at a market cap of over 158 billion worth of stable coins as tokenized assets. Again, Ethereum making up more than half of all of the stable coins tokenized assets here. Tron, BNB, Arbitrum, and Solana making up all the other cohorts, but Ethereum being leveraged heavily already for tokenizing of assets. And I think that this will be the biggest narrative that we're going to be seeing being pushed by the asset managers and the Ethereum ETF issuers when it comes to getting more institutional investors on board. They're going to be saying, we're going to be tokenizing everything, guys. We're going to be tokenizing bonds, treasuries, real estate, you name it, we're going to be tokenizing it. And Ethereum is going to be the chain that we're using when it comes to all of this enterprise style asset tokenization. So just a small bit of an insight here. Again, if we go to tokenized commodities, we can see that Ethereum makes up almost 100% of it. This is a much smaller number, only 836 million so far being monitored here. But we can see that there is a lot of activity beginning to ramp up with Blackrock, with Ethereum, and with the success of the Bitcoin ETFs, we're seeing the floodgates opening now with the Ethereum ETF. And again, in my opinion, I think we're going to be seeing this asset tokenization narrative being pushed around for Ethereum and for what is capable with Ethereum and real-world asset tokenization into the future. So lots of interesting insights, lots of exciting stuff happening on the Ethereum blockchain right now. Even if we jump into the ETH chart, we did see a bit of a jump in price when we saw the approval of the spot Ethereum ETF on May 24th. We saw a 22% increase. We went from just around the $3,000 mark all the way up to just under $4,000, and we've just retraced ever so slightly back to about $3,750 here at the end of May 2024. So again, Ethereum has been outperformed by Bitcoin considerably over the past number of months, but definitely getting a bit of a needed bounce here on the news of the Ethereum ETF approval. Again, it'll be very interesting to see what kind of approach we see BlackRock and other asset managers and the ETF issuers taking from here, but certainly lots of exciting stuff going on and very bullish news for the entire crypto space in general. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button on your way out the door. Hit that subscribe button as well. We're on the road to our first 10,000 subscribers, and it would mean the world if you subscribed, and hit that bell notification icon so you can get notified every time we drop a new video so you could hit your crypto goals. And don't forget to grab your free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin. It's the first link in the description below. Go ahead and grab it. It's my gift to you, and we'll catch you in the next one.